People, deluded, I'm back again. Now, Arsenal have several young players out on loan. Not just Arsenal, but several clubs have players out on loan. You know, getting first team minutes, no matter how talented you are as a young player, can prove tricky. So the best thing you can do, while I don't believe a loan helps everybody, you know, everyone's career is different, it showcases you. It either puts you in the shop window for a permanent move, it gets the media talking, why isn't he involved? It gets your coaching staff talking, it gets the manager talking, you know, that's what you've got to do. Away from your immediate first team, going out on loan provides you with experience. A lot of these boys are talented, have talent in abundance, but can they replicate what they do at youth level, at first team level? So yeah, man, you ain't got to be the finished article, but they're learning and they're trying to advance. Now, John-Jules, you know, when he's not scoring, he's being a creative outlet. And, you know, his team, Doncaster, won 4-1 or 4-1 against Bristol Rovers. And he was unfortunate not to get on the score sheet. My only criticism of him could he have forced things a bit in terms of shooting, because I feel first 20 minutes in particular, there wasn't any service to him, and kind of reminiscent what you saw at Lincoln. And to a degree, maybe that's just me, I have to accept that, because maybe that's a byproduct of this level. He's not going to get, you know, the ball fizzed in behind, he's not going to get it to feet too tough as much as if he was at a more technical based team, or what he's done coming up through Arsenal. But I felt maybe he could force the issue with a couple of shots. I don't know, but I'd take a guess to say he had about 2-3 shots max. But he made up for it, you know. He's involved in at least 2 of the goals. He's definitely got 1 assist. You know, he's involved in Tyler Richards' goal as well. You know, he's involved in 2 of the goals, and away from his goals, he worked very hard. He chased lost causes. Obviously, I like to speak about his technical qualities because, you know, the man's he's a tree in it. He's a man mountain. I wouldn't want to be a centre half against Tyrese. He's got the physical and he's got the technical. Being in this league, a byproduct or something you can't get around, you're gonna have to want to be at it. And I think his attitude was superb. Whenever he gets kicked, he gets up and in the healthy way gives it back. Like I said, he never stops running. And again, that was a pet peeve of mine, because he makes this lovely run from out to in. It's like he peels off the centre half, like he's going out wide and then darts, and no one was picking that up. You know, he backed up into people when he could. He brought people into play, sacrificed himself for the team. He worked very hard in the minutes he got, you know, similar to what he has been doing since he's arrived at Doncaster, and picking up where he left off at Lincoln City, sorry, or Lincoln FC. I don't even know their full name. Apologies. I mean, no disrespect, but you know, he's doing what he can to further enhance himself. I don't want to go as far as to say he's left this level, but I think the only thing he's got to prove now is that he can bag consistent goals at this level, because technically he's there. Dare I say this level's a bit easy, man, because he looks assured of what he knows what he's doing. Like, it's lovely, man. It's lovely seeing him winning all them duels in the air, making them runs. I just want him to score, man. You know me. The minute I see a Tyrese score, man, I'm over the moon. But he worked hard. He did what he needed to do, man. 7 out of 10 for me in terms of how he did, man. You know, it's a convincing performance, really and truly. Just needs to get a goal again, man. And again, I think games like this, obviously he's a striker. He's going to live or die by the goals he scores. It's a double-edged sword, that comment, because, you know, ironically, you've got to be more than just goals. You look at Eddie and Nketiah, a criticism has been, what does he do when he's not necessarily scoring, which hasn't been too often at first team level. So you're going to be known for goals, and you know, you can only be so good as a striker without scoring goals, which I'm sure Tyrese wants to score goals, every striker does. But you've also got to do more without the ball. And like I said, he didn't score. I would have liked to have seen more shots from him, but you know, he was a creative outlet. He was involved. He showcased his final ball. He showcased a bit of what he's been doing. You know, I wouldn't say go as far as to say he's dropping into the 10 position, but that sort of, you know, playmaking ability, he kind of showed it in this game. So convincing performance from Ty, man. And yeah, long may it continue. Hopefully he stays injury free. Hopefully he keeps scoring or assisting or just dominating the game. And I think it speaks volumes that his teammates are speaking highly of him, the coaching staff are speaking highly of him, and I think already he's proven why he was brought into the club. So long may it continue, really and truly. Generally, I think Doncaster took a while to wake up and whatnot, people, but Tyrese did his thing, man. So shout out to Ty, man. Matt Smith, you know, we love to hear our youth players doing well. Matt Smith obviously is at Swindon. He had a tough time in his debut for Swindon, but since then he's gone on from strength to strength. When you speak of him, you think of his technical abilities. He's got lovely passing range and all of these things, but you also think about work ethic. He's very much the English midfielder in that he's come up through Arsenal. He's a technical, you know, he's got it in him, but he's ready to fight from first to last. He'll fight for every ball. You know, he puts himself around. He gets interceptions. He puts in all action displays. You really get anything less than 100% from Matt Smith, and I think that's going to be the sort of attitude that sees him have a good career. Don't know if he's going to make it at Arsenal. You know, he's clearly got some talent. He's been on the bench in the Community Shield and whatnot, and you know, seemed to be that young player travelling with the team, benefiting from Guendouzi and or Ozil's absence from the team. So he's clearly highly thought of. We all know the dynamics of making it at Arsenal, especially in midfield, are tough. With all due respect to Matt Smith, I've seen, you know, Jeff Renee Adelaide who can play in the sort of cam, Benassia, Bielik who moved to a centre half. I've seen some quality players fail to make the grade simply, but that doesn't mean anything really and truly. For me, if I'm him, all you want to do is put yourself in the shop window. Arsenal might even bring in 2 other midfielders in this window to go with everybody else, so the pecking order might not be there. You've got 2 things, you know, you enhance your reputation, you put yourself in the shop window, you know, clubs might be looking at you to take you on permanently, you know. You're in League One right now. Is it a championship thing next year? You know, I might be dreaming and you might not be ready for that level, but Premier League clubs might have a look at you. So all he's got to do is put himself in the shop window, and the second half of that is, you know, try and make yourself undeniable. Whenever Arteta speaks to Mertesacker, always saying, have you seen Matt Smith? Have you seen Matt Smith? To the point where he's sick. You didn't think that happened with Pep Guardiola? You know, Pep Guardiola might have walked over to City's training session and whatnot and saw Phil Foden playing for the youngers and said he was good, or just randomly called up kids. But you can imagine when he walked through that club, he was given a dossier or told of young players to watch, and he kept that in his mind. And probably every coaching staff he connected with City had Phil Foden's name in their lips, you know, or coming out of their mouth, sort of thing. So to the point where he's undeniable. You've got to involve him or see what this hype is about. And lo and behold, the man's 21 and an England international, as well as obviously winning the Premier League. Now, I'm not saying Matt Smith is Phil Foden, with all due respect, but you get the logic I'm getting at. You know, Smith put in a convincing performance in his team's 4-2 victory. He had a hand in the opening goal. He put in an all-action performance that you expect. And, you know, he's, for me as well, he's showing consistency. That's one thing I didn't speak about that young players need to get at. And I think Tyrese is doing that as well. Because, you know, it's all good in games for all these young players being, you know, man of the match in one game. Can you do it 3 days from now? Do you get it? You know, that's what happens. You look at, we're going to get on to Medley, but Medley's probably learnt a lot more in these few weeks than he's probably ever done right now in the 23s, just in terms of the game things. So Matt Smith, short and sweet, you know, he keeps it going. He's putting in consistent performances. You know, his teammate Anthony Grant, I believe, described him as a joy to play with. So he's got the confidence of the managers, he's got the confidence of his teammates, he's got the confidence of the fans, I assume. And this is all good, you know. Keep playing consistently. You never know where it could be a year from now, or you never know what sort of season you could end on in May, whatever your team's goals are, whatever his personal goals are. Moving to Osei Tutu, and again, I say shop window. When I look at, with all due respect, the Ben Shaves, the Osei Tutus, you can never rule people out. I think they've got the technical ability to have futures, you know. I think they definitely should have had more opportunities, just me as a humble fan. But at the same time, you know, this is an important season. Cardiff have taken a chance on him for whatever reason, maybe off the back of a convincing loan spell, a good loan spell in Germany. He's 21 years of age, he's still young. You know, the Arsenal future thing looks a bit cloudy. I know Maitland-Niles is still linked with clubs away, Bellerin the same, and Cedric Suarez, it remains to be seen if he's levels. So, you know, things can happen. But at 21, do you really want to sit there and hope that 1 or 2 of the 3 fullbacks in front of you in your position have an injury or move away from the club? I say injury, you know what I mean. He's not wishing malice. You don't really want to do that. So this loan spell is first and foremost designed to add on to your experience that you gained, obviously, in Germany on your first loan spell. Obviously, try and tell the Arsenal management that, yo, there's someone here that can do a thing. Because true say, you heard Emery wanted to involve him if he didn't. And obviously convince Cardiff to say, yo, listen, keep me permanently, bro. Like, or any other championship club, make me a permanent guy. I'm 21, you know, because I'd imagine he doesn't want to keep doing this loan spell. 1 minute you're in Germany, then you're in Wales. Where next are you going? You're going to be in Spain 1 year, and then you're going to be in London this year. You know, on one hand, that's great. Football allows you to experience different, you know, environments and whatnot. But my personal thing is, you know, when you're 21, you don't need to be the finished article. But can you find a club where you can settle down for 2 years or so, or 3 years, which Cardiff could be for him, or even 18 months? Play consistently, you know, and all of these sort of things, and develop past there. I think when you're doing this moving business, it don't really help. Football is different because, like I said, these loan things don't really help. But you look at, and it's not the same, Mason Mount of Chelsea. He went to Derby. Before that, he went to Vitesse. I don't know if he had any other loan spells. Something tells me he's been on 3 loan spells, but it's probably 2, so it's not the best of examples. But, you know, I think he's just got to put himself in the shop window. He's of that age now, you know. I'm sure he doesn't want to go back to 23's football. It's not for this vid, but Oli Inca, you know, he's someone I can't believe he's not gone on loan in the 23s. He might. It's still a long way to go. But you went to Northampton. You're of the age where, for me, again, shop window. You know, I think the people who want to seize their futures right now at Arsenal are not in, with all due respect, and there's a couple different ones, are not the ones that are right about 19-ish, 18, late 18, 19-ish. They're not at the club. Like, the ones that understand that whether Arsenal want to use me or not, I need to make sure I've got a solid grounding to work with. They're not here. Because, again, no disrespect to Arsenal, they want to make it here. But Tyrese isn't staying in the 23s. He knows, listen, I'm a striker. I need to go and play against grown men. Matt Smith, I need to go and play against other midfielders. You get it? Tutu, I need to be playing 23s. I need to be playing first team and not 23s. Put yourself in the shop window, and when you get a taste for first team, you don't want to go back. Medley, I guarantee you don't want to go back when you play 23s football. Moving on to Medley, people, and his team won 2-0 against Blackpool. Dominic Samuel, a former loanee, now permanent Gills player, I believe, had a game to remember. He scored a brace. For Medley, it's a chance to prove to his gaffer he can count on him. When I say that, obviously his manager knows he's a young man and whatnot, and he's shown his quality at times. But if you remember, he's not started the last 2 league games. He lost his place. Gillingham did their thing. His manager was quite critical of him for missing out on a header in a previous game that I did a report on. Been there, done that. That it is what it is. You know, this is what you need at first team level. Immediately he knows, I'm getting a chance. I can't mess this up. And he put in a convincing performance. They won 2-0 against Blackpool. You know, there was a lot of backs against the wall defending, resolute, bodies on the mans to the pump, you know, throwing your body in the way. And I think Medley rose to those challenges, people. Collectively as a team, there was some shaky moments where it looked like Blackpool would score because I believe Jules were defending for large periods. But I think Medley did all right, man. He definitely showed that he deserves to retain his place in the side. And he showed his manager that, all right, cool, I've made my mistakes. In the last game, I hold my hands up. But I need to go and do this. And that's what it's about, people. You know, this is what helps you grow as a player, because Medley might have had the shaky performances that led to him being dropped at Gillingham. He could have had that at 23s. You're not necessarily going to be dropped. Now you're immediately dropped. Your manager's talking indirectly about you publicly in a healthy way, and you're dropped. You want to play, you have to know, boom, I need to fix up in training. I need to make sure when my chance comes, I seize it. And you have to be patient. I think patience, especially for young players, is overstated. You know, and it's really overstated, but it's underrated. You need to be patient. You know, he had to wait for his opportunity, and he took it. Well done to him. Like I said, he had an eventful day, busybody, body on the line. He probably ate his dinner straight after that game and went straight to bed, as I imagine the whole of the Gillingham players did, because they had a lot of running about to do and a lot of defending to do. But they did their thing, man, and it is what it is, man. He kept it simple when he needed to do. He tried the mad passing when he did. You know, he had a good performance, man. It was a mature performance from him in the middle of the park, man. Couldn't ask Medley for more based on what I've seen of the game. Coyle didn't play, you know, he played in the midweek defeat to Stoke. Had a bit of a quiet game after, you know, a sort of superb couple of weeks or couple of game weeks for Gillingham. You know, it happens. He didn't play for whatever reason. You know, again, the game was, you know, Blackpool were on top for quite a lot. So I don't necessarily think it was a game for attacking changes for the sake of it. So it is what it is. And this is what the boys have to deal with. You want to play, but you might not be the guy for that particular game. Or the manager might say, you know what, I don't want to make these sort of subs or whatever. So, you know, Coyle has shown his manager as well that when the time comes, he can count upon him. You know, he scored a winning penalty. He scored some classic Trey Coyle finishes since he's been there. And, you know, I think him and Medley are going to leave Gillingham feeling like better players, whether they make it here at Arsenal or not. They're going to feel that this loan spell is beneficial, as should they all have, because I think they're all learning in their all different ways, and I think all the people I've spoken about so far are all putting in promising loan spells and whatnot, showing great maturity on and off the field. And for me, I have to give credit to Mertesacker, first and foremost, for sorting out these loans very early for the players, because, you know, at first team level we haven't done everything we need to do. And the choice of clubs, you know, we heard that there was a committee and all of these, you know, presentation for people that wanted Eddie Nketiah. Leeds still managed to bag it, and it weren't, you know, on a base level. You know, he must have learned a lot under Bielsa, but for the people that don't care about the intricate parts of football, he's going on loan to play first team minutes. He failed to do that really and truly, you know. Where did we go wrong in our choices of picking loan move for players in that year? So at least at base level, we've learnt where we've went wrong and applied it better. Because again, you know, it's still early days. It's a long season. Some of these men are not going to be in the team. You know, some of them are going to have poor games. Managers are going to lose their jobs. You know, formation changes. There's all these twists and whatnot. But I think we've really picked good moves for these players, and moves that suit their profiles under managers that will give them opportunities, that treats them like they're young and recognise this is their kind of first time round the block, but doesn't treat them around they're young. You know, you don't need no arm around you unnecessarily. If you've played shit, pardon my language, coming out the team, that's what it's about. You know, these players can be in their feelings, but that's the harsh reality of football. And if you don't adapt to that, you know, whenever your Arsenal contracts are running out, you know, you'll do the whole lap of this club and that, but you won't make proper progress. So, congratulations so far to all the names mentioned. Zach Swanson apparently is injured based on what I follow his team on Twitter. They tweeted it. They haven't provided much clarity on the injury and whatnot. It is quite hard to track that sort of league. I can't even front people, but that's what I saw. Mavropanos, I believe, is injured. I don't think I'm missing out anybody apart from Ben Shafe, who, you know, started for Coventry against Barnsley. He's back in centre mid. It seems that, you know, he came to Arsenal as a centre mid and he played a couple of roles, but it seemed to be like he was being made into a centre half. He's reverted back to his familiar surroundings, and he, ironically, you know, he was at Doncaster and he did well in that role. And he played in that role against Barnsley. It didn't work out for at all times for him. You know, there was a time where Barnsley had an opportunity and he wasn't. He didn't react quick enough. He wasn't. I mean, literally in terms of running, he was too slow and out of position, and it could have been worse. And he could have done better in that. He had an effort as well that was poor, but he tried. You know, I think he scanned the defence well. He protected his back four when he could. He made a couple interceptions, and I wouldn't say he retrieved the ball a lot as well. I wouldn't say he set the world alight based on what I'm seeing and what I'm told. But you know, all you got to do is put good performances in, and put yourself in the shop window. 3-2 against QPR, in case I don't know if I'm guessing about 3-2 against QPR. It was 0-0 against Barnsley. I forgot to mention the scoreline. So yeah, man, all you can do is put yourself in the shop window. And you hear in relation to Ben Shafe, there's a permanent sort of offer on the table. So, you know, the better performances you put in, the more you convince Coventry to part ways with their money to Arsenal, and you know, you can get your career on track. Because like I said, what you don't want to do, and he's probably the perfect example, you know, at 22, in fact, let me actually check how old Ben Shafe actually is. You want to kind of settle down. Like, I don't know when his contract is up at Arsenal, and again, there's an option to buy on this deal, allegedly, but I'm just going to assume his contract is until 2022. But you don't want to keep going on loan, coming back, going on loan, coming back, coming on loan, coming back, coming on loan, especially at 22 years of age. You know, you need a bit of stability. You need, you know, in an ideal world, you know, managers always lose their roles, but in an ideal world, can you stay at a team for a couple of years where there's a manager who understands you, you understand the way of playing, you're going to play week in, week out if you earn it, settle down, develop. You know, this whole move in 1 minute you're at Doncaster, then you're at this club and that club. It's not even showing it on the website, but I'm sure he's been at Stevenage, I'm sure he's been at Coventry, I'm sure he's been at Doncaster. There might even be one more club. Apologies if there's not. But yeah, do you really want to add a fourth loan club to this fourth loan club? I doubt it. And they probably won't, because his future probably has to be settled. Has to be settled in the near to distant future. His brother's doing all right. I think his brother's still at Hull, been on a couple of loan spells as well since leaving Arsenal. So yeah, man, you know, it's pretty decent. Their family has 2 ballers in there. You know, it must be pretty nice for the mum. You know, the cash must be rolling in. But yeah, man, I'm convinced in all I'm seeing with these young players. Keen to see what Arsenal do with the rest of the young players, because there are, I wouldn't say there's too many, but there's a couple of players I feel would benefit from moves away. Probably have to be cautious in relation to Steve Bowles' team and the players he needs at his disposal. But at the same time, if I own any of those players, to be fair, in a nice way, I wouldn't necessarily care about what Steve Bowles needs for his under-23 season and the players he needs, if I feel my best development is served away from this club. Because in a healthy way, these players have to be selfish. Whether they make it here at Arsenal or not, they've got to be best equipped to hit the ground running, whatever life throws at them. And, you know, I think they're all doing all they can for that. So, yeah, man, hopefully they all stay injury-free. They remain keen on developing, and they keep getting chances by their managers. But on that note, I've got nothing more to add. I might as well get out of here. It's always a pleasure. People, DG.